So before we start the show, I just want to say there is heavy language warning. If you do not like a lot of cursing, I'd say skip this episode. We're usually pretty lenient on the cursing, but we're talking about Morbius, and I think it deserves the tidal wave of shit that it's getting on this episode. Also, we're going to be spoiling the hell out of Morbius, so if you don't want spoilers, skip ahead. I don't know. I don't know these timestamps, but yeah. So spoilers and explicit language coming. So thank you. Enjoy the show.
Yo, I hit the jeweler, got some goals. I sold a little weed, but I could never sell my soul. And when I'm in LA, you find me out in Lil Tote. Come a vocal with my ramen, I'ma need another bowl. Let's go.
Quote, a great philosopher, one that I can think of off the top of my head.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
I'm going to, okay?
Anyway, welcome back to another episode of the M&K Productions podcast. I'm your host, Mac, and joined here as usual is my co-host, Kristin. You know, how you doing? What's going on?
See, I gotta get my inner Wendy Williams out. I miss her. I miss my girl. Oh, it's also my Joey thing from Friends.
I'm a Frasier guy, but we are not here alone. We are joined here by a very special guest. Kristin, you want to roll out the red carpet for her?
Yes, I'm so excited to have this young lady on the show. She is a friend of mine. We have a lot in common because we both not only love Marvel shows. She's a Joe Bro fan, so I'm happy about that. She's shaking her head yes. I'm so excited to have her. She goes on Instagram by Glam Geek. So please welcome to the show, the one and only Hannah.
Well, hello there. Thank you so much for having me.
So is this your first time on a podcast, or have you been on other shows before?
This is my very first time.
Mac, we got the exclusive. So I am so excited to have you because, first of all, I love your style. Like, you are like the fashion guru for like Marvel inspirational stuff. I love it. Like, I enjoy seeing your looks.
You flatter me.
Like, I love it. And you are so creative because I'll never forget the one time like where you did like, it was like back to school season and you did it by like the majors, like of what each Marvel character would be studying at the school, and it was great. I thought that was the cutest thing ever.
Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun putting that together, yeah.
Can it be difficult sometimes for you to figure out what outfits go with what for what character, or what, I guess, the theme or ideas you want to illustrate? Like,
yes, especially because I don't like to buy pieces for outfits. I like to try to work with what I already have. So that can be a little difficult sometimes, but usually I kind of find my way around it with either what I have or I'll borrow pieces from friends and family.
Mm-hmm. And you're also a thrift girl, so you also enjoy the thrifting.
I am a thrift girly.
Respect.
Yeah, I love it. Love the thrifting. So I'm excited to have you. Mac, you want to ask our guest any questions before we have to get into today's discussion of entertainment news?
Yeah, so Hannah, for those who may not be familiar with you, what is it that you do and where could they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube at Glam Geek Guru, and I am, like Kristin said, all about fashion and makeup and pop culture and the convergence of those. I really love being geeky, but being able to embrace the femininity with it.
What has been your favorite project that you actually worked on for yourself and your career with all the between the YouTube channel now that you just launched and the TikTok and your Instagram page? And I think you also have a blog.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Thank you. Forget my own website. Same name, glamgeekguru.com.
I love it. So, like I said, what's your favorite project that you worked on?
I was really proud of myself because I'm such a horror wimp that I sat down when all the Fear Street movies came out and I forced myself to watch them. So my reviews on those are some of my favorites because that was a point of pride for me.
Oh,
wow.
What was your favorite Fear movie?
I would say the second one just because like the slasher summer camp vibes are usually my favorites, but I liked how the third tied everything together.
Okay. See, like I liked I preferred the second one. Like you just said, the third one I thought was just okay. The first one I think I enjoyed more for the kills because of that butcher scene in the grocery store with the girl's head.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Like that was just like, oh, Mac, did you watch the Fear Street movies?
Yeah.
No,
I'm
you
just gonna
didn't.
go along and say, yeah, that was. Sometimes the kill count on Dead Meat is enough to watch it, and like you haven't had the chance to just sit down and watch it yet because you're like, damn, you get busy.
I got you. Yeah, I definitely understand that.
Alrighties, Mac. I think we're ready to get into what we like to call the entertainment news. Mac, are you ready?
Yeah, so on today's show, we're going to be going over the news, like Christian mentioned, and we're also going to be discussing the hit new Batman film called Morbius. There's nothing wrong with that film at all. We just praises all here. What are you guys talking about? And at the end of the show, we're going to be discussing some of our favorite shows or even movies, but most likely shows that we've seen so far, because at the time of this recording, we're pretty much halfway through the year, and damn, time flies. But enough of me rambling. Let's get on to the news.
This is CNN.
All right, so the news, disclaimer, we're not talking about the slap. I don't care about the slap anymore. It's a week old. We're not dating this podcast. It happened. Will Smith smacked the shit out of Chris Rock. Keep his wife's name out your mouth. Done. I don't want to talk about it. So disclaimer. But starting off with the real news story, Flash star Ezra Miller, all of their future Warner Brother projects have been put on hold after the star was arrested in Hawaii for threatening to kill a couple that they had been staying with for a couple months now in Hawaii. And this has been a long string of incidents with the Flash star Ezra Miller, because this goes back to 2011 when they were working on Perks of Being a Wildflower, and then recently in 2021 there was a video that showed them choking out a woman in, I think, Pripyat. And now it's this, and it looks like Warner Brothers held emergency meetings on the day we're recording it. It's April 6th, and they're discussing the future of what they're going to do with Ezra. So, Hannah, Kristin, do you think it's time to say bye-bye to Ezra? Because this seems like this is a troubling trend with them and their issues. Because it seems like when it happens more than once, it's more of a trend and not like a single isolated issue. So, Hannah, you can go first and give your thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know if any efforts has been made to like discover, I don't know what the root cause of it is, or like if any efforts have been made to get them help in any capacity. I feel like if they can, that might be a good step to take to show that they're taking steps towards not doing that anymore.
Now, I have to ask, do you think this would affect him in the Flash? Like, do you not want to see him as the Flash anymore? Like, can you support them as a person and want to see them and their works continue?
Personally, I wouldn't want to support that behavior, no. But like I said, I would like to see them make an effort first, but if they refuse to make an effort, then no, I wouldn't want to support that.
Yeah, that was the one fear I have. I've been talking to a couple of people who are also like, I hate to do this, Mac, this also brings up the slap, because at the same time that the slap happened, this is where the incident also happened at the exact same time and moment as it was all going down. They're both serious situations, but however, Ezra Miller's situation is a bit more serious because now the couple has a restraining order against Ezra, which is so major, and that's just scary. And just seeing how he is as a person, I used the wrong pronouns, them as a person. And I just don't agree with that anymore. And this person was now so hyped up, especially because of the Flash. I think that this might be a sign maybe that they might have to renegotiate this Flash situation, because now this also brings into light the Amber Heard situation. If they can't, DC can't fire Amber Heard for that situation, should they also fire Ezra Miller for the almost a similar situation where Ezra Miller was causing such harassment towards other people? It brings up a lot of questionable things there where you have to start, and I feel okay, then do we have to support this person? Should this person be held accountable since they didn't do anything for Amber Heard? To me, it brings up all this other talk and controversy. So
yeah, and you gotta think that this has been like a trend since they've been in the mainstream, because it's every other year you hear about them. It's usually sometimes it's this is twice for a violent, I want to say violent, this has been some form of assault, or I don't even know if this is considered assault, but I know that they robbed them and then it's threat, so I guess that would be assault, because threaten I don't know how the law look. Hey, assault is when you tennis, battery is when the assault happens, right?
So it's like on the lines of that.
Okay, yeah. So like, but you do bring up a good point because it's like, well, people wanting you to fire Amber Heard since Johnny got fired, but if you fire Ezra, you're saying like, man, you still have Amber Heard on Aquaman. So it's just like it's a situation now. You got people of the Flash fans. They said get Grant Gustin to play Flash, and I know that
Mhm.
who was it? Someone. It's just I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but honestly, I wouldn't want to. I don't think they are. Ezra's not like a top flight actor. They're
No.
fine, but like if they were to be replaced, I wouldn't blink an eye because to be honest,
Yeah.
they're kind of like generic bland when it comes to acting. Like there's not one role besides Flash and be like, oh, that's the person from the Stanford prison experiment and
Yeah.
person being a wallflower. That's it. Like that's all I know.
And Ezra Miller is also really good at a little film called Beware of Gonzo, which also has Jesse McCartney in it. So if you want to watch something in
Oh,
that,
they're
go
also
watch.
don't forget they're
Yeah.
gonna be in Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna see that.
Oh my
either.
gosh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so they gotta cut because then there's also things too. Should they also cut now Ezra's character from the future Fantastic films?
There's gonna be future films.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
true,
other
yeah.
thing. Which I don't care for any of those movies. We don't really. Sorry, Hannah, if you like them.
No, you're
we-
good. I haven't
um,
seen any of them past the first one, so you're good.
You don't have
Okay,
to.
good. We don't really like. We're not Harry Potter fans really here, but anyway, now we're gonna bring up more controversial news. Japanese director Sion Sono has been accused of sexual harassment as reports have been released. 2 women have come forward in being sexually harassed by the Japanese director. The Japanese director is also most known for his Sundance film premiere that was at last year's festival, Prisoners of the Ghostland, which was a great Nicolas Cage movie. And he has a cult following of fans and has some faithful fans. So now seeing this come to life, are we faced with a new Harvey Weinstein? Mac, kick us off with this news. And have you watched any Sion Sono movies?
No, I didn't even know that was his movie with Nicolas Cage. All I saw was Nicolas Cage, and I just went right in, and I loved it. We're Nicolas Cage fanatics, by the way, and like we like worship this
We
man.
adore Nicolas Cage. We worship that man here.
I wouldn't say it would be. From what you say, because this is the first time I'm hearing about it. I don't think so. Like this would be another Harvey Weinstein situation. If more people come out, I would say maybe, but I feel like this is just another part of like the Me Too movement. Like people are more comfortable to come out because this behavior is intolerable in any setting, and people in Hollywood, like the film industry, use their power to just take advantage of people, and it's just been going on like that. So more and more people have been coming out every year. So if there's been like 2 so far, there's probably going to be a few more like in the coming weeks. I wouldn't be surprised. And he's not like, I feel like if he was an American like director or producer, it would get more mainstream press because I'm like, I haven't seen this in like any of the like I haven't seen it on like Instagram or Twitter, nothing like that. I'm like, that's weird. But like, I feel like if it was American or something, he would get press like that. But it's like, I feel like something with like, if they're a foreign director or an actor, a lot of their stuff gets like just tied to that category, unless you're like really hardcore to go find information about that.
I'm just disappointed because this guy had such a huge future ahead, knowing what he did. Hannah, I'm not sure if you've seen Prisoners of the Ghostland. It's a huge creative movie, and it's very, very, very much Nicolas Cage. And that's the disappointing part because the movie was good, and now it makes me feel sad because I'm like, I don't want to support this now. If he's because the whole thing he was promising these young actresses with roles and his projects or in other films, so that's the downside. So how do you feel about especially men taking over this industry and harming young girls or even individuals? Like, how do you feel about that in this news?
I mean, obviously it's abhorrent, and I feel like what Max said, if it was someone's name who people would recognize over here, it might have gotten more traction. But because the name recognition's not there, if people are seeing it, they're letting it just sort of pass over them like, oh, okay, whatever. Obviously, I wish I could say like, oh, we can do this to stop that. And I feel bad that obviously that movie was good, and now you have to try to separate the art from the artist in your head.
Yeah, that's the difficult part, I think, nowadays, since we are now in a generation of holding people accountable for their actions and saying, now do we have to support you for knowing these consequences you have done? I think we are now adjusting that as a generation now, especially like given the fact we are all about the same age now. I think we are all learning to say, okay, maybe I can't support you because you've done this. And I think that's fine. So if you want to support that, that's fine. If not, then yeah,
I mean, like you said, it's. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say.
Go ahead.
You learned about this after you find the movie that you like, so you say, okay, I'm going to keep this separate in my head, but I can now choose to not monetarily support this person in the future, especially because, like you said, they were offering them roles in the movies for these things, and it's like, absolutely, you don't want to support that.
There's something like to compare this to something. This is the reason why whenever I do Halloween, I never want to cover Jeepers Creepers, because I've seen James and Janice talk about this on Dead Meat, and I support that fact because the original director of Jeepers Creepers, I forgot his name is off the top of my head, but he was convicted of sexual assault to a minor. And he served like 15 months in prison. And I just like, I'm never going to review Jeepers Creepers. It'll never be in my lineup. Like, I will not support this until maybe he's dead. But like, if that's the case, but like, that'd be a long shot before that, because I just don't feel like I wouldn't say it's difference between being like, not difference, alleged and convicted. That I feel like they're still in the same. With the alleged, there's some truth to it. Convicted, like there's evidence and you were convicted, but you were still allowed to walk, and I'm just, I can't support that. And like even now, like another recent example, like Kevin Spacey, like
Kevin Spacey,
it's hard for me to watch Baby Driver, because I'm like, oh damn, it's like it's weird hearing a grown man calling a kid baby. And then Ansel Elgort, he's another one where
same
I'm like,
thing, and that's how I'm upset I am about West Side Story, you know.
Yeah, I'm just like, I can't. So it's like it's hard. It's just
hard
really
because
hard.
Mac, you know what, Baby Driver is one of my favorite movies, and I'm actually like, from where we record the podcast, right in front of me is a Baby Driver poster, and this all happened right before the allegations came out about the Kevin Spacey and Ansel Elgort, and I haven't taken it down because I'm like, all right, Edgar Wright, just fix the problem and make sure maybe we don't have a Ansel Elgort, maybe some kind of spin-off of a Baby Driver, because that has also been in the talks. So the other thing, this also brings up the point of also the Roman Polanski situation too, since you brought up Jeepers Creepers too. And that man hasn't been caught yet, so I don't know what is going on with that. So
he fled to Europe, so the jurisdiction doesn't work. So he's like, I'm safe.
And the FBI should just go over. I mean, you know, they just need to arrest that guy's butt too. I just can't. Ugh. All right, Mac, what's your next piece of news?
All right, so let's give some light news, because I feel like we all need it after that.
Yeah.
So I actually got this news when I was on the bus on the way home. We all know who's in Spider-Man No Way Home. I think it's been like how many months? Like how many months? Like 5?
5, 4, 5, something like that.
Yeah.
I can't keep track anymore.
So we got
I was about to say I can't count.
We got Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back, and on the press tour for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, Sam Raimi was asked if he would want to do any more Spider-Man movies, possibly that never fulfilled Spider-Man 4 with Tobey, and he said, I love Kristin, I love Tobey, and they said like never say never. So potentially down the lane, we might get Spider-Man 4. And I'm going to tell you, I've been nostalgic for the original Spider-Man movies for a while now, because there was on YouTube, I go through like binges of just watching older trailers. And does anyone remember the teaser trailer for the first Spider-Man movie?
I can't even remember the first teaser trailer.
I can't remember.
Because I just remember the entire first movie, but I can't remember the trailer.
The teaser trailer for the first one, it was the one where he webbed up the helicopter between the Twin Towers.
Oh my god!
And I was like, I'm watching, I was like, yo, it just gives me hype. I'm like, I've seen it so many times, it just feels like I teleport myself back to 2001, because a lot of people, they're like, you got to realize back in the early 2000s, the internet, it wasn't like it is now, where like you'll just say, hey, movie's in production now. Like, it was generally like a surprise. So if you go to the theater, you'll see a trailer for something like you've never seen before, and then go to the trailers to see the theaters to see this trailer. You're like, holy shit, there's Spider-Man's coming out with the guy from Pleasantville. Oh my god! But no, but if they were to do Spider-Man 4, what would y'all like to see? Would you like to see like kind of like a Logan type situation for Spider-Man 4, or like just something else just to make that Toby story complete?
Maybe make not so much complete. I just want to see if where he's going, wondering if he has a family, you know, like, because he's got like the spider stuff, you know, the bite, it's in his DNA. What if his kids have it? Like, we could have little Spider-Man babies running around. Like, just imagine that, like little, like in diapers flying around the cities of New York. Just imagine that. And then Aunt May Sally Field just trying to calm down everything, and just, not Sally Field. Who was Aunt May in the original?
Oh gosh, I'm blanking.
Sally Field is in Amazing Spider-Man. So excuse my I can't think right now. But anyways, just imagine that. Oh my gosh, like that would be cute little babies running around. But I would love it. I wonder if he's still working at the newspaper, and wonder if Kristen Dunst is still trying to do her acting career. Remember that in the last movie?
Rosemary Harris was Aunt May.
Yes, that's who it is. So I don't know if she's still alive. I can't remember, but I would just love that. I would just love it. Just do it. I don't care what it is. Sony and Marvel would get my money, and it would make me very, very happy.
I feel you. Yeah. I would love to see Spider-Man be happy. That's all I would ever like in life. Spider-Man throughout all of his iterations has just gone through so much, and I would love to see a happy Spider family and just have it be a little bit more lighthearted. Unless we're going like the mentor route where they introduce Miles, but I have a feeling that might happen in the webverse.
Yeah, that's a different story, because they're doing that. That's a whole other universe. Like, we're going to talk about universes later when we have to talk about Morbius, but I would love it. Mac, what would you want for that?
I just want them to wrap up the story, because I felt like in Spider-Man 3, like Spider-Man 3 is a film where like at the time you like were like, man, this is shit. But like when you get older, you realize like, you know what? This is actually not that bad. And I think that trilogy has aged. I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, those original movies are trash. They're like, I'm like,
no, they're not.
Like, what
trash? They need to talk to us.
Yeah, like I don't get why people, because I'm thinking of like people with Spider-Man, those original ones, they just see, because it's like, oh, it was made in the 2000s. They'll see the special effects are terrible. I said, well, when we look back at the No Way Home and like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, that CGI is going to probably be obsolete in another like 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
And it moves like, so quickly.
Yeah. So like, I just want Spider-Man 4 just to end on like, because it would just be a good just finale for that, because that's a lot of our childhoods. Like, we got the Andrews, we got Tom, but Toby will always be Spider-Man for me.
I feel like then Andrew would come back and be like, then where's mine? Where's my happy ending?
I know, yeah. His number 3.
Yeah. Trying to find his next Mary Jane or whatever. Or Gwen Stacy. Whatever. Just making him happy. Or finding his parents. Because remember, like, in the last one, they were on the hunt for his parents. Like, they were alive, but then in the end, we never found out in the end. So I want to know an answer for that.
Oh my god, I almost forgot about that.
Because,
they cut out the whole scene at the end too.
Yeah, and I want to know who won the Rhino Dinosaur Spider-Man fight. We don't know, because that was heavily in the trailer. Hannah, I don't know if you listen to our podcast, but in the past, it's okay if you don't. Mac and I have talked about, well, especially me, I want a director's cut of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, because Shailene Woodley was supposed to be in the film.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
No.
I didn't know that.
She got cut because Mark Webb cut her from the film because they were like, oh, there was too many characters. And then I was like, what do you mean there's too many characters? Do you see how many characters are in that film already? And if it happens in No Way Home, it can happen. That's why she said it was cut. And I was like, no, I need to see the cut with Shailene Woodley. So
it's like when Catherine Langford got cut from Endgame.
Yeah.
Yes. And now we have that long-lived post-credit scene. I wonder what she's doing. I haven't heard from her in quite a bit.
She did Spontaneous, and I like that movie.
Spontaneous, and then she did that series that was also canceled by Netflix, The Curse series. Sorry, we heard a sour spot in somebody's Catherine Langford hype train. But anyways, my final piece of news is, Hannah, are you a J-Lo fan?
I am. I don't follow J-Lo news usually.
Okay. Do you follow Josh Duhamel? Like, are you a Josh Duhamel fan or no?
He is in my universe. Like, I've seen quite a bit of his stuff through the years.
Okay, sweet then. All right. So now moving to theaters and now to Amazon Prime Video, Jennifer Lopez will be taking her film Shotgun Wedding to Amazon Prime. This is the big movie that had Armie Hammer fired because he had to step away from a certain controversy that involves cannibalism. No joke.
I forgot
Allegedly
about that.
cannibalism.
Just a little thing.
Allegedly cannibalism, but and other harassments. And now their movie's headed up to Prime, and the film follows Darcy and Tom, played by Jennifer Lopez and Josh Duhamel. They gather for a lovable but very opinionated families for the ultimate destination wedding, just as the couple begin to get cold feet. And if it wasn't enough, the threat to the celebration, everyone's lives become suddenly in danger when the entire party is taken hostage. So the film also stars Jennifer Coolidge, Cheech Martin, and Lenny Kravitz. So that film hasn't had a release date yet, but it was supposed to be released theatrically on July 1st, which is also around the same time as the Minions movie. So I don't think that this movie would have made any money because of what it was going to be up against. So will you guys be watching Shotgun Wedding?
I mean, based on the premise, like, I'll at least watch the trailer. Like, you had me at hostages at a wedding.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Mac, are you going to be watching J-Lo?
Why is she doing all these wedding movies? Is she trying to tell us something? Is this like a subliminal message?
Have you seen her interviews? She loves the rom-coms.
I'm just like, she does so many of these wedding movies. And like, I mean, I might check it out. Like, just
she's going to marry Ben Affleck at some point.
Oh,
she was supposed to marry Alex Rodriguez. Well, that didn't happen, and now she's gonna marry.
They did get married.
No, they were engaged. They were engaged.
No, they got married.
No, they didn't.
I don't know. This time she's
been engaged and married back and forth. I want to say at least 4 times.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh my gosh.
But I'll watch it in passing and probably just be like in the background one of these days.
Have you watched Marry Me yet, Mac? Because I know you.
Parts of it actually.
Did you like it? Because I was very anxious to know. I liked it more for Owen Wilson. I didn't care about J-Lo. Because J-Lo, God bless her, she's very overrated as an actor. My J-Lo!
Oh, no.
Did you see Boy Next Door?
Yes, I hate that movie so much.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, God.
Looking for a really trashy, bad movie, go watch that.
Okay, I love.
That's a
okay, because it's like a life. Yeah, basically, what Max said, it's Lifetime. What with Jennifer Lopez?
You know, we love a little bit of Lifetime every now and again, though.
Yes,
that's true.
This one is ridiculous. There's so many great scenes, but that's for another time. But for now, we're gonna move on from the entertainment news, and we gotta talk Morbius.
We should do a podcast talking about Hallmark and Lifetime movies.
We need to do a commentary episode of The Boy Next Door.
No, we gotta do like a Hallmark movie. We gotta do like a Christmas Detour or something.
We were supposed to do Dear Santa, the one with whatchamacallit? Not Jennifer Coolidge. What's her name?
One of the people.
Wizards of Waverly Place and Devin Werkheiser. What's that one? What's her name? I can't even think of it. Harper from Wizards.
Oh! Jennifer Stone?
Yes, Jennifer Stone, thank you. We were supposed to do that over Christmas, but we didn't get to it. We're doing it this year.
Would you guys ever rank the Hallmark Christmas movies?
Oh, we would do it here.
I've actually, on my channel, when I did the 25 Days of Christmas the first time last year, that Christmas Detour I did, that's the highest viewed video I have, and I have no idea. I think it has like 500 views. I'm like, how the hell do you people, why do you watch this? I'm just talking, it's an okay movie. I think I gave it like a 6 out of 10. Because it was like,
Mac, I think you should just do for this year for the 25 Days of Macness.
All Hallmark movies?
All Hallmark, nothing else.
I was about to say, it's the sign.
It's just Hallmark.
Danica McKellar, like one of my reviews on there.
She did?
She's like the freaking Hallmark queen at this point. She's like in all Hallmark movies.
And Haley Duff are the two queens. And besides Tia Mowry, because the Mowry sisters go back and forth on that too. At least one of them.
But anyway, what's your favorite Hallmark movie down below in the comments? So, well, we all went off track. All right. So that's enough news. So leave any news you have for us in the comments and your favorite Hallmark movie down below. And why is it a Christmas detour? But it's time to talk about today's topic, and that is
Morbius.
Venom. No, I'm just joking. It's Michael Morbius at your service.
Who the hell are you, man?
I am Venom. I'm just kidding. It's Dr. Michael Morbius at your service.
Morbius! Knock, knock, like the devil, man. Morbius! I wish that was the song. But yeah, we're talking about Morbius. The movie that has been delayed, I think, like 6 times. And it is Sony's new take on Morbius, the living vampire, a character that maybe all 5 people who watched the animated series in the 90s, I'm just joking, we all watched the animated series, but all 5 people who just know the MCU knows about. And it is directed by Daniel Espinosa, and it stars Jared Leto, Matt Smith, Adria Arjona, Jared Harris, Mad McGill, and Tyrese Gibson. And it is about Dr. Michael Morbius trying to find a cure for a disease he has, and he ends up becoming a vampire. And that's the best we're going to describe the plot, because this movie is a disaster.
Oh, it's
Morbius, more like more BS. But it's before you guys get, I will say this. People may have hated this movie a little too much. Is it good? No. Is it like dog shit? No.
No.
Is it okay? No. It's just there, because it's like, I know I think it's sitting at 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, but like, I don't know, man. I can't describe what the hell was this movie. Well,
it was a bunch of ideas, but Hannah, we're gonna let you start off first, because I first of all felt so bad that we asked you to watch this. We know you are the Marvel girl, and we figured, okay, Marvel, this is a great time to bring Hannah on. So, were you first gonna see Morbius or no?
I'm gonna be honest with you. At first, I was considering seeing it for like the possible Spider-Man connection, because like in the pictures and the trailers, like there was Spider-Man in the graffiti. So I was like, okay, like I'm really wondering like what's gonna happen. And then as like the first reviews started coming out, I was like, you know what? Maybe I won't see this, but I'm kind of glad I did in the end, because I was able to just tell all my friends what happens.
Yeah, you saved your friends a lot of money. Yes. I will say that.
Time and money, yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna be same thing with my boyfriend. The reason my boyfriend, I really wanted to drag my boyfriend to this, because here was one line that he wanted to see, and that was Michael Morbius at your service, because the whole Venom line. And did you know that line didn't happen?
Man, this some old bullshit.
Did you know that?
I know it did happen. He's like, I am Venom. He's like,
that happens, but he doesn't say like, just kidding.
It's Michael Morbius. He said something else. I had because shame on me. I recorded a soundbite of it because I wanted to send a clip of it. And he says, I don't know. I forgot what he says. I don't want to put it on loud because I don't want to get his copy strikes back.
Well, it's going to be audio. Send me the audio clip and I'll play it in the post edit. But that's one thing.
How many other people were in your theater?
There was like one other family, and that was it. It was just me. I'm like one other family.
Up until like 2 minutes before the movie started, it was just me. And then there were maybe like 5 of us total. So I was about to say, you're good to use your phone if like no one's there.
I had a packed house. Like, bullshit. What the hell?
Really? You had a packed house for Morbius?
I went Sunday at 4:20 p.m. and we were gonna go Thursday, but it was packed. And I was like, okay, Sunday's fine. And like the whole theater was packed. And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, I don't know. I look like. Can I tell you my theater experience with Morbius?
Yes, go.
I looked like the biggest crackhead, or sounded like the biggest crackhead on theaters, because like the first 5 minutes, I started laughing. I'm like, this movie's gonna be awesome, and like I was already excited because I saw the trailer for the Nicolas Cage movie I want to see so badly, and like I lost it. The beginning scene where like the bats came out of the cave. He's like, ah, and I just like, I
The Bat Cave was just really funny. Like he's just standing there. Meanwhile, everybody's just like we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Get to the chopper.
And then
Exactly.
as much as the movie went on, the funnier it got, and I started making myself laugh. And I think the lady next to me looked at me like I was crazy, and my dad was with me. And my dad's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Dad, this is funny." And then the ending happened,
Morbius
and like
is a comedy? Question mark.
no joke, I got up and I started clapping, and like I was doing it sarcastically, but there are people in the theater, they like started clapping, and I just started like, "Thank you." And everyone was like, "What the hell?" And I was like, I told my dad, I was like, "Dad, this is a masterpiece. I love it. And I just crying of laughter. And then that post-credit scene, I died. I was on the floor crying. Like I had tears in my eye.
I think that's the most important thing in this film is the post-credit scene.
Mhm.
Because there was somebody that was supposed to be in it, and he was supposed to show up earlier, and then shows up later at the post-credit scene.
I guess that's one of the things we could talk about. Since this movie was delayed like 6 times, you can obviously tell a lot of shit was cut out from the first trailer. Because just to let y'all know that scene when Morbius walks past the alley and it said Spider-Man murderer, that's not even in the movie at all.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that part.
That's not in the movie.
I was mad about it. I was mad about it the whole time.
I forgot about that part. I was just waiting for all right, I'm gonna just spoil it now. Vulture was supposed to show up at some point because you saw it at the very first ending of one of the first trailers that Michael Keaton was supposed to show up, and it was also released that he got casted in the film. Where was he? At a post-credit scene where they're both gonna go after Spider-Man for what reason? Or at least Vulture has a reason. Morbius, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I don't even know
what's
why.
his beef?
Yeah, honestly, did we get any understanding of the beef? No, it's just like Morbius just was like, oh, I want to take down Spider-Man too for no reason. Because I'm bad.
I think I know this stuff. Like, the editing in this movie is shit. I hated it. It's like the pacing is all over the place because you get the opening scene where he was in the Batcave and, all the bats came out. And it cuts to the flashback 25 years later. And then it goes back to after. Like, I thought this took place before the Batcave scene, but he had all the bats in the lab. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, I didn't get that part.
How did he get that shit ton of live bats into a hospital without anyone noticing?
That was a good question. I don't know. Did he just... No, do you know what he did? He put them all in the helicopter and said, okay, bats, don't fly. Just hang from the helicopter. I'm gonna take you personally there myself. Or unless they flew Michael Morbius, they picked him up. So he just floated around. He said, take me back to New York.
Did they ever say what disease he had? Because I know they said it's like a blood disease, but were they ever specific?
I don't think so. That's the thing.
Does anybody remember the name of the disease that Michael Morbius has in general?
No.
What? I don't even know. It's just a blood disease. We don't know. There's no cure for it.
Yeah. All they mentioned was, transfusions 3 times a day. So obviously your first line of thinking is going to be vampire bats. You know what? That's the thing.
Did you know I felt more entertained by Twilight bats? There weren't bats in that. I felt more entertained by the vampires in that film than Michael Morbius, to be honest.
Oh, God.
That says something. But, yeah, what did you guys all think of Jared Leto's performance?
3.6 Rontgen, but that's as high as the meter. 3.6. Not great, not terrible.
I can say one nice thing, and that's at the beginning, I switched my thinking, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, monster movie. This is not a Marvel movie. Do not think about this in that terms at all. You are only going to disappoint yourself from this point forward. So I was like, okay, cool, monster. And from there, for me, everything just felt flat in his delivery. Everything felt kind of flat and monotone. I don't know if y'all got that too.
No, yeah, I can say, I said this earlier. When Jared Leto is the least of your problems in a superhero movie, you've got problems. Because God bless him, he tried. At least everyone else, I'd say, there was a lack of effort. Jared Leto, he said he felt in tune with this character, so he didn't have to method act. He was just like acting. And I think Daniel Espinosa said that he actually like he method acted being disabled. I was like, oh my god. Apparently he took like 45-minute bathroom breaks on set. And he had a wheelchair. I'm like, what the hell?
It's interesting how Dylan Espinosa came onto this film, but we can go over the direction in his previous works later. But with Michael Morbius and Jared Leto, I just felt like this was just not for Jared Leto. Like, I felt like more entertained by his performance in House of Gucci than I did was here, because I just felt he made his character boring, I feel like. And I think for like the performance I was mostly entertained by the most was Matt Smith as his friend / bad guy. Like, I just don't like. I was expecting a little bit more darkness to the Michael Morbius character, but his character wasn't really that dark. He's just a smart man. He's like a vampire Tony Stark, creating new medicines, I guess. So,
yeah.
What did you guys think of Matt Smith though as these films' villain?
Mid!
Hate it. I hate it. He sucked. Like, I only know him from two things. He's Doctor Who, and he was Skynet in a terrible Terminator movie. And seeing him, like, what was his motivation? It was literally the same motivation from Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's like, I want your thing that'll cure me. You're not gonna give it to me. You're a big, mean, poopy head, and I'm taking it anyway. And I'm like, and it was too obvious. Like, when he lied about being his lawyer to go see him in jail, like, you just see, like, you just seem too calm about this. Like, you seem like you're like, and it turns like, what's the motivation, like, for eating people too? He's like, we have to embrace who we are. I'm like, you didn't even know what that was. Like, I
feel like he was trying to embrace it because nobody were like accepting of who they were as children growing up. So I guess that's why he ate the people. But I feel like I
was gonna say it's that and the taking back of control.
That's what I was like, kind of like thinking of that. I was like, okay, but we've seen better, like we've seen better, like, people who have done this, like, I just felt, I guess.
He's like, I want Spider-Man's blood to save me from the goblin disease. I'm like, is this Amazing Spider-Man 2 or is this Morbius? Like, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah,
like,
I guess you could connect that to but I think for this one, though, there was more reason than there was in Spider-Man Amazing Spider-Man 2.
And, like, you think about it, was he trying to kill Morbius, or was he just trying to be like, you should become dark like me? Like, like, what was...
He was becoming dark, so, because Morbius is an evil character, so it was about being evil and evil again. If that makes sense. I don't know.
We're trying to compromise.
Like, he was all ready to be a villain, and then, so it's like, okay, I'm going to be a villain again.
So much.
So... The other thing is, Daniel Espinosa has, spoken out about the criticisms about the film. So have you guys seen his previous works? Because the man has done some pretty good films. Like, he worked on Safe House with Ryan Reynolds and Denzel Washington. He's worked with Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds for Life, which is also a really good space movie. But now he's got Michael Morbius attached to his name. So, Mac, how do you feel in terms of this? And Hannah, have you seen any of Daniel Espinosa's films?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Mac, have you seen Daniel Espinosa's films, and how do you rank this in terms of his film category?
The worst.
Worst, yes. Okay, great.
When you topple Life, because I know people like, Life wasn't that bad. Life was so mid, as the kids would say, like, it's mid.
No, I enjoyed Life. Life was pretty good.
I'm not saying it was bad, but it was just like, man. But hey, Cloverfield Paradox took that title away from it a year later. But like, your studio has faith in you when they don't give a shit that you're just spoiling the movie on Twitter. Like, you just know that the studio's like, we're right behind you, Daniel. Just spoil the shit out of this movie on
Twitter.
What
did he spoil on Twitter? I know he spoiled. I don't know what he did though.
He spoiled the ending and he spoiled the post-credit scene. He pulled a Josh Trank on Twitter and just said, fuck it. I'm done. I'm not doing, like, here's the spoilers. I'm like, wow. Like, that's like, damn, this movie's been pushed back like 6 times. And
now he's just like, I don't care anymore. I'm angry.
Yeah. So I can't wait for the Daniel Espinosa release the Morbius cut that everyone's going to see. Because there's definitely a lot of stuff that was cut.
That got cut.
One thing I want to say is,
I guarantee you this could have been like a 2-hour movie.
oh dear God.
Mhm.
I was gonna say, do you guys think this was gonna be rated R? Because some of the slashes that they do, they hide it in the dark with like when he cuts people or like bites them, there's like a lack of blood.
I thought it was.
You thought this movie was rated R?
Going into it, just because the previews I was getting was for like rated R horror movies. So I was like, oh, okay, like this would track.
I don't know if it would have been rated R because then I feel like they wanted to get the kids to see it because of they're like, oh, vampires. But then I think it would have been more enjoyable if we got some blood to it, you know, make it a real raunchy. But you know, we gotta make sure the kids see it too. But I don't think the kids would have liked it as much.
Yeah, the kids know who Michael Morbius is, right? Fuck no. He's a household character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Venom. Definitely.
Forget
But
Venom.
even still, like with a film like this, I just like when I have conversations with myself, like when I'm doing stuff like on my own little mini podcast, and I had the discussion with myself saying like Sony just needs to give up. Just give their assets to Marvel and let it. Like, geez, like this has been a train wreck since like Amazing Spider-Man 2. The only thing that they have going for them is literally the video game division and Into the Spider-Verse. Everything else they need to get rid of. They need to get rid of Venom because that's obviously failed. It's failed. Like Venom has failed. And then now Morbius is like, you're trying to do what you did almost 8 years ago again. But like you're trying.
It's too late now.
Yeah, it's like they need to just give up because it's like no. And the worst part is they're using the MCU as like a launching pad for their stuff when they don't even own half the rights for it. I'm like, you guys don't have the power for this because like we barely know who these characters are. Everyone knows Venom, so that could work. But like only like hardcore fans of Spider-Man or like just general audiences, they may not know who Morbius is. Like I know who Morbius was because of the 90s animated series, but like if I'm a casual person going to the theater, I'm like, who the hell is Morbius? All I see is Marvel, I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah, I tried to explain this to my parents on who Michael Morbius was, and they just get confused anytime I mention a new Marvel villain. They're like, who's Morbius now? And I'm like, yeah, he's connected to Spider-Man somehow. And they're like, oh, okay. They shake their heads like they know what they understand what I mean. But this is another character that they'll forget about. And unfortunately, I feel like this is a movie most people will forget about.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this movie. Mac, you gave this film I saw on your review a 5 out of 10. Why?
Because it was entertaining, damn it. It was like I don't know. I don't think like I know the critics have been like slamming it, but like the audience score is like at a 60%, and honestly it didn't surprise me because I'm like, you know, once a movie is panned by us critics because they say we don't know shit, the audience be like, I like this movie. And
well,
then
what do you think if it's Jared Leto's cult fans? Do you know about Jared Leto's cult fans? Are you aware of the 30 Seconds to Mars?
Not to my knowledge. Are we talking about like a literal cult? I'm aware of 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yes. Okay. Good. Going to a 30 Seconds to Mars concert is something else. I can say from experience. I've been to one for free. I didn't have to pay for it. I went to it. But anyways, it's like the way that there's something that he does, and it's like a weekend getaway experience where you spend like almost like people spent like 10 grand to be with Jared Leto, sleeping on ground, like camping, singing Kumbaya, yoga bullshit. You think Gwyneth Paltrow maybe type style camping maybe, but in the woods where you have to spend a lot of money and you find yourself and you sing a lot of music and whatnot, but it's all 30 Seconds to Mars. But apparently like this is like there's stuff that goes down there, and I just joke that like I'm thinking now maybe all those are former cult fans of the 30 Seconds to Mars.
they're doing their duty.
Yeah.
Yes, they're doing their duty. That's one of the jobs from going to the camp for whenever it happens. Yeah. Because I don't know if anybody remembers this, but right before the pandemic happened,
I do remember that.
Jared Leto had his weekend getaway, and he goes, "Oh, I was in the desert for 10 days or something like that. What happened?" And I'm like, "You missed a lot with the pandemic."
He literally just went to sleep. Was like, "What the hell? There's a pandemic?
Yeah, what did I miss? Literally, COVID. You're in COVID now, my guy. So, But anyways, Jared Leto, Morbius sucks. And then one word.
Worst part is that Jared Leto's not even a terrible actor. I enjoy a lot of the movies he and
yeah, he's actually a good actor.
Requiem for a Dream, that's great. I love him in Dallas Buyers Club. He was good in Blade Runner 2049.
Oh my god. I completely forgot he was in Dallas Buyers Club. Like, completely. Because I was just racking my brain, like, what else have I seen him in besides Suicide Squad and American Psycho?
And he's gonna be he's doing Tron 3, and I love Tron. I think him and Tron works great. It's just some of the roles he decides to do is just his way of approaching a role and just like
are just questionable.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, he went from
just watch him in House of Gucci. He's like Mario, honestly.
Really?
My god, House of Gucci is just if you thought he was something else in Morbius, he's insanely laughable in House of Gucci. I don't know what impression that was. I think he was auditioning to take over Chris Pratt's role. That's for sure.
Oh god.
Have y'all seen the meme of Darth Maul when he lit up his lightsaber? One side it says worst DC movie, and the other side worst. I'm like, worst okay, let's not. This isn't the worst Marvel movie because it's not even an MCU movie. But like, even still, damn. Is this the worst Marvel Sony movie? Because we have to categorize.
I'd probably say
MCU to Marvel Sony. So is this one the worst Marvel Sony movie?
I was never been disinterested in a Marvel Sony movie before.
How about that? What do you guys think of the effects? The slow bullet time, and like when they were jumping in the air, they had the smoky cloud feature, like on Snap, like it's
with Matrix influence.
Yeah.
My question is, what was like the being able to catch the wave of the subway? Like, why is he suddenly able to do that? Like, what of the bat DNA? I was like, okay, so I guess you can. Yeah, I was like, what's going on right now?
He just accepts like, okay.
Oh, okay, neat, but why?
Oh my god.
Yeah, he just accepts that, and then he's like, it's not like, I feel like, with all the other great Marvel heroes, they learn, and they learn why they can do it.
Yeah.
Jared Leto's just like, okay, cool, I can do this. You don't learn why.
Yeah, it's like he understands the full scope of his abilities within like a day.
And then the way he even looks when the whole like
god.
He looks more like, he doesn't even look like a bat. Like, I know the intention was to look like a bat. To me, he just looks like a disgruntled gargoyle.
I was gonna say, yeah, he looks like a live action version of Gargoyles. Remember that show?
A gargoyle?
Like, it's Goliath.
Listen, Matt Smith was perching like a gargoyle at one point with his face like that, so I'm glad you said gargoyle.
I know what the scene you're talking about, too. And I was just like,
yes!
Are we in a different universe? Because this doesn't look like Morbius. Like, from all the time. Like, I know Michael Morbius from who he is, but this does not look like Morbius or the other characters. And then what happened in the end? His girlfriend now is a Miss Morbius?
I guess.
Oh my god. So, I like, as soon as like the blood fell into her mouth, it was just like, okay, cool. So like, she's gonna be a vampire now, right? And then she died, and it was like, that took away any emotional hit that would have had. And I personally thought it was stupid the way they ended it with her just opening her eyes and him like flying away.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Hannah, have you ever seen Chappie?
The police are out of control. Chappie's the key to the revolution. You think you're a hero? You're a bunch of whys. I am Chappie. Chappie.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
The ending in Chappie, it's eerily similar to this one, because during whole Chappie, they were trying to figure out how to put like a consciousness into robots, and one of like the people he cares about that took care of him, they died, but he's like, I saved her consciousness, so they uploaded it into a robot, and then the eyes opened and it ended like that, and they thought like, we're gonna get a Chappie 2 one day, and it's like, damn.
I'm just shaking my head now, folks, because I was not expecting for Mac to bring up a Chappie reference.
I like Chappie. You
I know you like your Chappie. I know you do.
But no, yeah.
You do.
My dad tried to bless my dad. Whenever we see a movie, he's more optimistic, because we're like two halves. I'm the critical side. He's the audience side. So sometimes I have to like take into his account and just like remember that I am a viewer of the film. I should view it as a film and not as a cynic. like a critical cynic, but like
Mm-hmm.
when he's
I
like,
get you.
he's like, hey, the blood dropped in her mouth, and I was like, did it? I said, I was laughing too much, I couldn't even tell. Like, I was just like, oh no. And then she opened her eyes. I was like, oh no, she's gonna be she's gonna be Madam Web. Morbius.
Oh, is that what she's called? I forgot.
No,
Oh my God.
No, it's
I'm gonna call him Miss Morbius.
more bullshit.
Morbius Among
But like,
Us.
you know who I feel bad for the most in this movie? Tyrese Gibson. This man barely had any
Poor
like.
Tyrese.
He mentioned
He's like kind of a bad when it comes to acting.
He's like,
I'm sorry.
your artificial blood saved my arm. And I remember the trailer, they showed off like the metal arm, and you only see one shot of it in the movie, and that's near the end.
Oh my God. I don't even remember seeing the metal arm. What point did we see it?
That's at the end when they were looking at the down at the bats coming up.
Oh my God, yeah. That was a
I
quick
didn't even
shot.
clock that. Oh my God.
I was like, he mentioned the metal arm before. He's like, your artificial blood saved my arm in Afghanistan. So like, thank you for the exposition.
Yeah.
Also, the writing in this movie is terrible. Literally everything is just exposition.
The script was written in 2017 and finished, I think, in 2018. So it shows something. So it definitely says what it has about the Venom and the recent changes, how it's been in, and the development.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask, when I didn't know like what point in the Marvel timeline this was taking place, I was gonna ask like, how does he know who Venom is?
Well, it does. There's a line in the movie that says, we haven't seen anything like this since San Francisco. And if you remember the first Venom, that's when Riot and Venom had to fight on the
Yeah,
rocket.
I just didn't know that like the public, like it was general knowledge, you know?
Yeah, that Venom was like a secret. I don't know why he's like Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking of. Because that's why I thought originally I missed Venom 2. So when I didn't know when this took place, I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's like out and about in the second one, and that's why he knows who he is. But
It's worse with the delays too, because like you're starting to wonder like the rumor of reshoots. Did this go through?
Is
reshoots?
it true?
Yeah, because I remember they said Jared Leto himself was like, yeah, there's a Spider-Man in the movie. I said, okay, stop the cap. Stop it. You're lying. There's not a Spider-Man. And I remember we all thought when they delayed it from January to April that they were going to put in like Toby or Peter or Tom in it. And like, we're giving Sony too much credit.
Yeah. I just have to say, oof. But anyways, I think that's all we have to say about Michael Morbius and sus.
No, we need to go more in depth on the post-credit scene. And like, what does it mean?
Do we have to go?
Yes, we do. So I'm gonna let
do
Hannah,
we have to?
You want to talk about the post-credit scene and your experience with it?
Oh, my experience, or
do Hannah first because I like hers was funny. Yeah.
We've put it out there that like Vulture shows up. Vulture is in this movie. And since he's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, I was like, oh my God, like I'm so happy to see him. And then I thought about it for a second and I was like, this is the exact opposite of what the spell at the end of No Way Home was supposed to do, is it not? So how is he here? Also, where did he get his wings? If Adrian Toomes doesn't exist in this universe,
where did they come from?
Where did
they were waiting outside
and, like, why is his priority like not finding where his family is?
They were waiting outside the prison. They were just sitting right there and just said, they were like, for free, take. And they had his name on it.
Free to good home.
Yeah, that's what it was for. And then he was like, perfect. I know where Michael Morbius is exactly. Like somehow they knew where they were going to be right away. We don't know how they got in contact though, but they did.
And what universe is this in? Is this in like Tom Holland's universe? Is this in Toby's? Is this in Andrew?
Yeah, that's
this. I think it's the way how I at least saw it. It was like it was in the same universe. It's in Tom's universe at least, and Michael Morbius somehow just fell in to the gap, like how Jared, how Andrew and Toby came in.
He should have gone back then.
Yeah,
Vulture was too stupid. He was
because remember Venom went back to his universe in the end of No Way Home.
Yeah, so Venom was just on vacation and accepted that. I don't know what Morbius was doing.
Like this timeline is so screwed up because it's like the spider. Like, just give it up, Sony. Like I have no because in the trailer it's like, hey Dr. Morbius, we should stay in touch. And it's like, oh, okay, he's probably gonna be like in the same like universe. And it's like, nope, I genuinely don't. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like,
so like there's that too. At the end I was like, so is this like at the end of Loki then? Because there's no way this could happen with the spell. Is this after Multiverse of Madness? I just kept asking myself so many questions like, what the hell is this at the very end?
Yeah, that's you get more. I feel like you get more out of it, like trying to think about in the other projects than you do actually watching the project and being like, okay, yeah.
Well, Morbius, I'd say watch it if you want a comedy. I don't say go see it in theaters. Just watch it at home because it's not worth it spending an hour and 46 minutes in theaters because you will feel like this is like a 2-hour movie. But I gave it a 5 out of 10. Like, it wasn't terrible. It's not like terrible as the critics are saying. And it's not as good as like some audiences will be like, oh, this is awesome. I'm like, I want to say that. It's just like, it's just a matter of like why like this needed to be made. Like, who was really dying for a Morbius movie? Like, I'm all
Jared Leto, because he's an executive producer of it.
Oh, okay.
And that's the T.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. I feel like maybe better writing and maybe a better director, Morbius could have been something different. But I'll give it a 5 out of 10 because it wasn't like, I was a little disappointed because I thought it was gonna be like a train wreck. I thought we were gonna get on the levels of like Fantastic Four, and I was like, oh, that was so sad.
It brought me back to the train wreck of what was Fantastic Four, but I give it a nice 2 out of 10.
I would give it, based on like my feeling during the movie, a solid 3 out of 10. I agree that the bones were there though, like with better writing and just like different pacing. Like, I would have loved to have seen like that fall a little more of like, oh, great guy, like Nobel Prize winning doctor to blood-sucking vampire. But when you think of it as a monster movie, it might be worth like a 4, rather, like I said, rather than a hero movie or a Marvel movie.
But unfortunately, it has that Marvel opening though.
You said the script was written in 2017.
I know. So
yes, 2017. It says here that the script was written by November 2nd, 2017, and Leto and Espinosa officially joined June 2018.
So when Hannah said monster movie, do you think that they wanted to base this off Universal's Dark Universe for the monster aspect? Because Mummy came out June of 2017. They're like, they saw that it's like,
my God.
right, that shit. We gotta do Morbius, but like the Dark Universe. This is gonna be Dracula Untold too.
Oh no!
God.
I forgot about Dracula Untold.
Like, it wasn't Untold, just no one was listening. Yeah, but Morbius.
What was happening?
Morbius is it's fine. It's not terrible.
Oh, it's not fine. It's
I'll give it a participation award. Like, at least it came out. At least
it has decent scenes, like 1 or 2 at the very least, where I was like, okay, like potential, and then unfortunately it ruined it.
But what did you guys think of Morbius? Leave your comments down below, and just be brutally honest. If you hated it, that's fine. Tell us why. If you loved it, tell us why. I'm freaking. If Army of the Dead can win an Oscar award, then you can tell us why you like Morbius. But anyway, let's wrap this thing up and let's talk about stuff we've seen or like so far this year because I'm tired of this. Yeah, let's go.
Welcome to Prodigium. We recognize and destroy evil. But this is unlike anything we've seen before. You have no idea what you have unleashed. The Mummy.
All right, to wrap it up, this was Kristin's idea, so there's going to be no box office support because we already know that Morbius probably won this weekend anyway, which is a sad fact. But we're going to talk about, it's April, and we're pretty much almost 5 months into the year. Let's talk about some TV shows and movies that we've enjoyed so far. So I'm going to let our special guest go first. Hannah, what are some like stuff that has caught your eye so far this year?
I will preface this by saying I am terrible at watching TV shows. That is like, that's my problematic trait, is like I will pick up a show and I will never finish it. Unless it's like a Disney Plus show. Those are the ones where like I commit to. But so far this year, and this might just be recency bias, but I've been all over Moon Knight. I've been loving it.
Yes, hasn't been enjoying Moonlight? I will be very sad if you haven't been enjoying Moonlight, because Moon Knight is great. Oscar Isaac is just king. I'm ready for him to be nominated for a Emmy for his performance, because it's so good. I'm excited, because it does not feel like a Marvel project.
It doesn't. That's the thing.
It feels like it's a totally original idea, and I love Oscar Isaac's accent. Sorry, my dog is trying to get in the shot. I just love everything about it. I love Ethan Hawke. Like once I knew Ethan Hawke was going to be joining that project, I was like, yes, this is going to be gold. This is going to be worth it. So did you enjoy the second episode? Because at the time of this recording, the second episode would have been out. So did you like it?
I did, yes. Personally, I really did. I won't spoil it just in case, but I liked to see a little bit more of what Steven's got going on.
Good. And now, besides seeing Michael Morbius, what has been your favorite film that you got to see so far this year?
Oh my god, I feel like I've been slacking at the movie theater so far this year. I'm trying to rack my brain for what I've seen, like, past Spider-Man No Way Home, which obviously that's that's at the top of the list. What have I even been watching?
Anything streaming. Anything.
I know. I don't.
Something that was released previously that you didn't get to see.
I always go back to the X-Files. That's my tried and true, and I'm continuously making headway on it. I'm on season 5, finally. One day, I promise you, I will finish Only Murders in the Building, because I have liked what I've seen of it so far.
Gotta finish it before June, though.
Okay.
Season 2 is coming out. That's
Wait,
my show.
Speaking of Moon Knight, I just found this. I just want to show you guys this. Is this accurate?
Moon Knight in the museum!
I love that.
That would be great if Ben Stiller just walked in the museum, just be like, "Oh, wrong museum." That's true. That's actually on point. Mac, what has been your favorite TV show and film so far you've seen this year?
So my favorite TV show is gonna have to be Peacemaker, because I was one of the only few people that really gave it. I was all for it after Suicide Squad. I know a lot of people like, do we really need a Peacemaker? Like, who is Peacemaker? Do we really need a show? Can John Cena carry a TV show on his own? And it's like, well, give it a chance, and then we'll see if it's good or not. And I watched it, and it's like, yo, it is great. John Cena, great comedic actor and everything, and like James Gunn's style works perfectly for TV. It wrapped itself up nice to 10 episodes, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was 10 episodes.
Can't wait for season 2. The new Suicide Squad game coming when this comes out next year. I hope he's a DLC character, because Peacemaker is now becoming one of my favorite characters in DC. And I guess for my favorite movie of the year, it's hard because I want to say Batman, but that may change if this Nicolas Cage movie is good. But I can name the 2 worst.
Yeah, because that Nicolas Cage movie's been really getting some praise recently.
But I can't say 2 of the worst movies I saw this year was the 355 and Uncharted.
Yeah.
Oh, was Uncharted as bad as people say? I feel bad because I love the video games. I just didn't get a chance to see it.
It's like, I feel like if
it was more of a disappointment. Like that one, I will consider okay. Like if I were to put Morbius on the block again, I would choose Uncharted over Morbius. So
okay.
I mean, I would too, but I gave Blacklight a higher rating than Uncharted.
Okay.
Is Uncharted worth it if I'm not paying to see it? Like whenever it hits streaming?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's better of a streaming film.
Okay,
it's,
good to know.
It's sad because, like, given all the spectacle around it, like, this would have been a great theater experience. It would have been at least a pretty good theater experience, but not great. But they are setting up that sequel, I will say. So let's just hope the sequel comes out better, I think. Mac, what do you think? Are we still getting that Uncharted sequel or not?
I don't know. If Sony wants to, I know Sony says they want to make all their stuff into like media properties. I know next is Twisted Metal with Anthony Mackie, but if we do an Uncharted 2, we really gotta think about getting like a director who actually looks like he's played the games. Because God bless Ruben Fleischer, but like I think he played the opening levels in all the games. Is like done. Let's do this. Let's make the movie.
Is it based off a specific one like of the games, or is it just sort of like an amalgamation?
What I thought was.
Oh, go ahead, Kristin.
Well, I'll just say this. We can reveal this. It's basically games one and 3, like what was like kind of predicted. Sorry, my dog is moving the computer. But it's mostly the last game.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they take a lot of the storyline from the 4th game, and they use that for the plot, but a lot of the set pieces are from like the first 3 games because of course that plane scene is from the third game.
Yeah.
And that's
And-
what I played before I went to go see the movie. I played 1 through 3 because my boyfriend took me to it. He's like, okay, we're going to play all 1 through 3 because that's what it looks like the game is going to be based off of. And I was just like, okay, I'll play them. And that's what we did. And then he goes, well, that was all of 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that at all. I'm glad y'all told me.
Yeah, so now I have to play 4. So,
I don't know. It's just like, man, it was just very disappointing and such. And now people are like, well, if you don't base it off the video game, it's a good movie on its own. It's a fun action movie. And I said,
yeah, that's what a lot of people said who didn't play the games.
The funny thing is like, remember I told you how me and my dad are 2 halves?
Yes.
My dad didn't like this movie, so I knew I was right when I did that. I didn't like this movie. My dad likes everything. It's like, we described it perfectly. Uncharted is a film where, like, when you watch an action movie, there's that moment where the action rises and you are like excited. Uncharted never does that. It's like at a flat rate. The only time I got excited is when I saw Nolan North make a cameo, and I was the only one in the theater. I was like, oh, and everyone looked at me like, the hell? It's
that's what I said too. I'm like, I think that's Nolan North.
That's Drake. That's Drake. You plebeians, you've never played the game. Screw you, appreciate voice actors. But I felt like such
casuals.
Yeah, I felt like such a nerd. I was like, damn. And then like the ending, post-credit scene was like, they said if they make the sequel, it's going to be based a lot on the first game when they were trying to find El Dorado.
Which would have been a better film, but
I think that would have been better. Yeah,
it could have set something up, but it really kind of doesn't. But anyways, for me, show-wise, my favorite show I've seen this year has to be Pam and Tommy. Loved that. Love my Sebastian Stan. He did great. Lily James was great. Seth Rogen was great. It was all really great. It was a fun comedy drama. Really enjoyed that. Loving the Minx, which is like that Jake Johnson series where it's like it's like a porno like magazine photographer like publisher guy, but then he teams up with this woman who wants to release like a feminist magazine. So it combines like feminism and like almost like porn in a way. So it's like it's the most bizarre series, but it's insane. The comedy's great and the cast is really good. And then The Girl from Plainville I thought was pretty good so far from Elle Fanning. And my favorite film so far is also going back to Sebastian Stan and Fresh. I just adored Fresh. Fresh is my favorite film.
I'm only partway through Fresh, but I got it spoiled for me.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was really kind of like, because I got to see it early at Sundance, and I didn't like the way they made the trailer because I felt like they gave a little too much.
Yeah.
And then knowing it was released through streaming, it was like, all right, people are going to spoil this really kind of easier than seeing it in a theater. Like, I wish it was a theater experience, but it's still a great movie. I really love it a lot. And then also go see X, another great horror film.
Is that scary though?
If you like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then you'll like it.
Otherwise, I'll say, is it pop-out scary?
What do you define as pop-out? Oh, jump scares?
Jump scares, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, it's not as bad as the jump scares. No, the jump scares the film does a really good job with the build-up with a lot of the scares. Okay. And I was amazed how good X was. X, I will say, is a full ticket price.
Okay, and that's in theaters now?
Yeah, that's in theaters now, and just warning to everybody, go see X, because there will be a prequel coming out later this year that's also going to involve Mia Goth's character. And it's the director wanted to film the prequel first because the whole set was done. So he's like, I have the script ready to go. Let's continue filming. And Mia Goth was like, all right, let's continue filming.
When you said Texas Chainsaw Massacre, were you comparing it to the 1974 one or the 2022 one?
Oh, the Tom Hooper one.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Tom Hooper. Yeah,
good.
The original.
We don't talk about
recent Chainsaw.
Hannah, did you watch the new Chainsaw Massacre movie?
No, just because I'm the world's biggest baby when it comes to horror, so it has to like tick certain boxes. And usually, like, one of my best friends in the whole world is super into horror, so I wait for her to see it first and give me the go ahead.
Find out if she saw X, because it's I can tell you from experience, from someone who's pure horror fan, I'm like, oh my god, I would love to recommend this to everybody because it's so creative, and it's just so unique and very 70s and stylish. Like it's
I
very
love
like
that aesthetic.
old school theater and way out of A24's level of normal filmography.
They also made that other movie, Everywhere, Anytime, recently.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. That's been popping up around.
I've heard good things about that one.
That's the one with Jamie Lee Curtis. I haven't seen that one, but I think that one's getting a wide release soon. But I'm hoping to check that one out.
Actually, wait a minute. Before we end, I'm sorry. You can finish.
Yeah, go ahead. No,
Before
go
we
ahead.
end the podcast, we actually do have one more news to go over.
What's that?
Freaking Chris Stuckman now has the highest funded indie horror movie of all time from on Indiegogo, and actually he made a video saying he's been in contact with some studios, and rumors have it that he might be working A24. But are y'all excited to see Chris Stuckman making a horror movie? What is it called? Like Pine Oaks?
Shelby Oaks.
Shelby Oaks, yeah. It's just crazy.
I'm a Chris Stuckman fan, so knowing I watched the man since I was like a sophomore in high school, and then just see him evolve as over like my schooling career and now my professional career, it's really inspiring to see somebody like you watch someone you grow up with now is getting their shot at their dreams. So I'm happy for him. Hannah, are you familiar with Chris Stuckman? Are you
not familiar? Are there any titles that I would be familiar with?
He reviews a lot of. Yeah. He's not like a horror guy. He loves basically will review anything. Was reviewing a lot of stuff, but now he's since taking a break because of, I guess his family. He got married, has kids now, and he's doing the whole dad thing. So and he was going through some personal stuff. So, but yeah, when he was first starting out, he was pumping out reviews like he was the king. And
right, that's exciting then.
Yeah, so he's awesome. He's awesome. He's like, I know people lumped him together with Jeremy Jahns, and I love Jeremy Jahns too, but I think Jeremy Jahns is like the more
he's more modern, I think, for modern audiences. If you're gonna get into really into film criticism, then you go and watch Chris Stuckman. I love both. Full and Ebert of movie reviews.
But I love Jeremy Jahns too because he makes me laugh, and he gives us some good points too. But Chris Stuckman, so happy. One of my favorite videos he's done was the Fanatic review, the Hilariosity with John Travolta.
Fanatic. That's our favorite year.
Amazing. Hey, Hannah, I know you. It's not a horror movie; it's a thriller. Have you seen the Fanatic with John Travolta and Devon Sawa?
I don't think so, but I'm much better with thrillers than I am with outright horror.
You should check it out. It's directed by Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit.
Do you know Limp Bizkit? Are you? Oh my God!
I'm vaguely familiar. Yes.
Unfortunately, everybody knows Limp Bizkit. But anyways, I think that's gonna wrap up our show, guys. Ugh.
Yeah, it is. We've had a lot of fun. I think I've needed this laugh after a long work day. Hannah.
Oh, I needed this laugh.
Thank you so much for coming on. You were awesome to have on. And where can the people find you to have more of you and your content?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome. If you want to find me, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube at Glam Geek Guru. And I will not forget my website this time is glamgeekguru.com.
You got anything coming up that you want to give the people a sneak peek of that you're working on?
At some point, there's going to be an Animal Crossing themed video coming out on YouTube.
Cute.
Yeah, that's sort of my roots. I love Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley. So if you're a fan of those kind of games, I got something coming soon.
Ooh, interesting. All the links will be posted down below to find Hannah and everything. But for this episode, this has been episode 70.
This has been gonna be, I think, either 74.
74. Oh my gosh, we're almost at 80. We gotta have a special 80s podcast. But thank you all for tuning in to this episode.
Oh, Mac, we gotta say what we're going next time. We gotta have a special coming up next time.
Oh yeah, Kristin, what's the special going on? Because I forget. I suck at scheduling.
Well, we now have friends at Shutter. We got friends at Shutter. We are getting copies of VHS 1994. So
I forgot. Yes. I didn't forget. I mean, I was just testing you. I remember that, obviously. But yeah.
You were testing that, Matt. Yes, so our friends at Shutter will be sending us copies of the latest film, VHS 1994. So be on the lookout for that review in our next episode. Also, we will also be reviewing the latest Nicolas Cage film, The Unbreakable massive talent.
We may be doing a giveaway too, but that's still
That's all up in the air. But for now, just please say subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Spotify and Apple. Leave us a review. That also helps.
Yeah, and then don't forget, donate to our Patreon. It's only $1 a month. You can get some good perks with it, and you can get special discounts on our store now because we have a store. I forgot to mention that before. Yeah, we got a store. If you want a mask, you want T-shirts, if you want a sticker, you can go at spring.com.
We got beach towels now. What,
not,
did we get
not
those
yet.
beach towels going? I don't know what we have anymore.
You can get, if you use code word MKSP break at checkout, you get 10% off. The link will be on the description below. I'm going to extend that sale because it ends next Saturday after recording, and I'm probably going to extend it to like the end of April to do it. But yeah, the link's in the description.
Spring break sale, folks. So get in on the good while the deals are hot.
Yeah, but this has been Mac. This has been Kristin. And this has been Hannah, and we will see you all in the next episode. Bye.
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 Fuck you in the lane you came with. Me and you ain't on the same shit. You ain't in my lane, bitch. Nah, all that shit it fits. Rollie on my wrist. Ay, baby, you a star. I'm my only wish. I'm counting blue hundreds. I'm too money. Ay, and my little bitch, she too lovely. Yeah, hanging up and calling me right back. Ay, baby, why you calling me like that? Yeah, getting high with the seat laid back. Baby, gon' relax, yeah. Hey, they don't know the half, and no matter what happened, I got your back. Baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah.